Hello, this is a demonstration of lab number 7 for EGR 333. Lab number 7 is essentially just another implementation of lab 6, but rather with assembly language. And unfortunately we weren't able to do all three different of the conditions because we ran out of bits, as you can see down here. We only have 0 through 7 bits, so we only have 8 bits to work with. And so what we did was we implemented the first condition, which was 3 out of the 4 board members need to vote yes in order to activate Skynet, as well as as 2 different keys. And in this case, the 4 different board members are going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, and the 2 different keys that need to be pressed are 4 and 6, with 5 not being pressed at that point in time. 7 is used to deactivate the countdown as soon as it starts. So this is the presidential switch. So we're going to just show you a little simulation of the code. So we're going to assemble the code that we've created, and we're going to step through it. This first line of code jumps to the initialize label, which is this bit, this flag is initially turned off, and we'll set the bit after it initializes so it doesn't go through the initialize label again. So essentially what this does is just it clears all of the board members to make sure that they're all set to 0 initially, as well as setting the counter of how many board members have voted to activate Skynet to 0. And so after this is done, it goes down, and here's our first, it checks our first congressional member to see if he has chosen to vote. And so as you can see, the way that we labeled these labels are, we did switch 1 QQQ. The Q's stand for question, because we're not sure what the other 3 board members have chosen at this point in time. But if you look at this second one, if this one was not, here I'm going to unclick this bit. So if this one was not clicked, if this board member has not voted, then he has not voted, specifying the 0. And then if the second one is voted, he has voted, so it will jump to this label
0,
then.
1 QQ.
Exactly. And so that increments the accumulator, which initially was set to 0 in the initialize function, to show that 1 board member has voted. And we're going to step through it. I'm going to, just for time's sake, we'll demonstrate once where not 4 board members have chosen to, or 3 out of 4 board members have not chosen to activate Skynet. And so, as you can see, it's going to reset the accumulator back to 0 and jump back to main. So we're going to do it again, but just turn on 3 different board member votes.
So at this point there's 3 different board members who have voted yes.
And so it's going to run through these different labels. And now at this point it has gotten through and it's seen that 3 different board members have voted yes. And so now one thing that's important to note is that it's not going to ever go back to the main function and check to see if the board members have voted again, because once they voted, that means that they voted and
the conditions met.
And the conditions met, and so Skynet's a go. And so now we can demonstrate that, like, if 5 is chosen, it will just keep looping back up to check keys. But if 4 has been met and 6 has been met, meaning that the keys have been turned, it will go through here and it will start the countdown. So at this point it will activate an LED to show that the countdown has been activated, and then begin the delay, which delay essentially just moves the number 60, the integer 60, into a register, and now the countdown actually begins. So it begins decrementing, and you can see in R0, this is, it begins to decrement.
So it's counting down from 60 right now.
And if this last pin is chosen, 7, it will deactivate the Skynet countdown, or if it gets all the way to 0, this command right here, this DJNZ, will jump if R0 is 0, and it will jump then to Skynet activated. Or, I'm sorry, the DJNZ means that if it's not 0, then it will jump up to countdown, but once it is 0, it will go past this and then jump to Skynet activated down here. And so, just for time's sake, we're going to put on 7 to show that the president has activated, or has deactivated the countdown. And so at this point in time, it's going to turn off one of the bits, turn off the bit to show that the countdown has been activated, and it's going to turn on another LED to show that that it has been deactivated and it won't reactivate again. And so now it gets stuck in this loop right here, which is the same as if Skynet was actually activated. A different LED would light up and it would get stuck in the activated loop. And so that's our project.